Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another amazing episode of the Power of Women in Insurance. My name is Teresa Kitchens, and I am thrilled because I have a lady that I met last year at the Innovation Conference. She just came on up. She just took the biggest hugs. She's just so warm. She's welcoming, and she is all over Facebook and Instagram doing amazing things this past year. I am here to be able to talk with Ossiea Lake specifically about insurance, life, motherhood, being able to build a brand new agency from scratch, and the amazing things that she's doing in the insurance industry. So she likes to go by O. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. But Ossiea, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited to talk to you.
You are so welcome. It is such a pleasure to be here.
Well, you know what? I know when we met,
Mhm.
we got into this conversation about just being a startup agency. And I know that I opened up my agency startup. We had been with Allstate previously, but we went cold turkey, right? My dad stayed with Allstate. I opened up the independent agency on my side, but you are doing it. And I did it 20 years ago. It was a little different, but a little bit of the same type of a culture because it was a hard market when I got into it. I know you've been in this now for 2, 3 years.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you got where you are today by being this amazing owner.
Okay, so first of all, my name is Ossiea Lake. I am from not too far from Jackson, Mississippi, but Ridgeland, Mississippi. And I have been in the sales industry for almost about 20 years. Now, I did not come into insurance, and insurance first was not my life direction. I
What?
started off, yeah, I know, right? I know, right?
What a shock. What a shock.
Right, right. So I started off in real estate. So I was a real estate agent for over, as of now, like 16 years. So real estate
Wow.
was right, my passion. Oh yeah. So, multi-million dollar producer, different little things like that. What I loved was helping people.
Mhm.
That was number one. So as I got introduced into the real estate field, I started learning different segments and different careers, of course, that was inside the industry as well too. But one thing that did stick out was insurance, and people didn't know. And my clients were asking me questions of
Mhm.
how this worked, different things like that. So I'm going to tell you exactly how I got into insurance. Well, one day I was taking my broker's examination to become my a real estate broker. I went in, took the test, and mind you, I took it about 3 times beforehand. I was missing by a couple of points.
Mm.
Time
That's
I go,
always hard
and I know. This
because you're like
particular
so close.
so close, like very,
Oh,
very close. So this particular time I go in and lady, the proctor, never met. She just had just a very warm, beautiful face, very sweet, everything. So just went in. I took the test. I studied so hard, and she gave me my results, and I missed it by a couple of more points, and I was devastated. And the lady had looked at me, and she said, "Did you ask God? Is this where you were supposed to be? Is
mm.
this what you're supposed to be doing?" And I looked at her at first. Like, she don't know who I am. I sell real estate. I do this. I do that. And I was like, me, of course I talk to God, And it hit me. It was like I could just nothing besides hear her words as I left the building. And I never went to God and gave him permission for the industry I was supposed to be in. I knew whatever I was supposed to do, I was supposed to be a business owner.
Mhm.
I knew I was going to be helping people. I knew I was going to be helping other people fulfill their goal just because I knew who I was. But I was in a transition of exactly where I was supposed to be. So I get in the car and I asked, I said, Lord, is this where I'm supposed to be? Literally, I'm crying, I'm upset, and everything else like that. 10 minutes later, I get a phone call. This is just how weird this is all happened. I can't make this up. The material is too good. 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from a lady from State Farm. And she found me on LinkedIn. And she had said, hey, I saw your profile. She was like, you fit the description. We're looking for agency owners and insurance. And I said, well, I don't want to sell insurance. So I thought about it. I was like, now you prayed about it, go through the process. So she was like, hey, I just want to send you some information, take this module, blah, 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 this, see if it happens. Yeah. So she sends it to me. I'm cooking, no inspiration in it. And I'm just taking it, just taking it. And she calls me the next day and she was like, you did amazing. She said,
Wow.
no one is took this test and they passed just like that. I was like, it was simple. It was just basic questions. She was like, can you do another one? So I did another one. And she said, oh my God. She was like, you qualified. So, I said, So I started praying about it. She sent me some more stuff to go ahead and take some more testing just to learn about what insurance, and it started becoming very interesting to me. It started to connect the dots. It was like a puzzle. So it was like putting pieces of the puzzles together from what I already knew versus to what I didn't know. And I was like, oh, this is this and this is this. So I started get more intrigued in the inside of it, but it still wasn't my time at that
Right.
time. It still wasn't my time. So as we were going through it or whatnot, I was married. With my ex-husband, I was married, but we were going through some things and the relationship didn't last. And I had to make a decision. I'm just being honest here.
Yep.
I had to make some personal decisions on keeping my credit up or paying my bills for my family. And it was some tough decisions that had to be made. And so in reference to that, of course, you're going to choose protecting your family. And so I had to make that choice to protect my family. Almost finished with everything in State Farm. And they was like, hey, we got to do one more credit pull. I've met with the agency owners. They're about to give me a store. I'm almost there. I'm just praying that everything just goes through the way that it should go through and everything else like that. And it was like, hey, we got one more. I said, this is it. It's over. And in the back of my mind, I was crying because I knew, it wasn't going to work. So of course they called me and it was like, well, Miss Lake, unfortunately, we won't be able to move on with the process and everything else like that.
That's
I already
heartbreaking though.
very heartbreaking. So everything this agency was built on my heart, like it's personal. So in reference to that, I said, okay, and so, but I've learned that you could be captive, you could be independent. So I said,
There
well,
was more out there than just that one. But that's what opened your eyes to the
that's what
idea
opened
of the
my
industry. I love that.
eyes. But God had another way. And sometimes God would lead us to where we're supposed to be and say, hey, you're not supposed to be right there right now, but let me show you a better way. So I was determined. I said, no, I didn't take all this. I didn't pass all this. I'm not all this issue. I wrote a business plan. I done this. I saved my money. I was ready. I was ready to start my own business. And then all of a sudden, boom, the devil comes and says, and I was having most women that's been through divorce, and sometimes we sacrifice so much of ourselves for our family that we give and we give. And I said, you know what? I was at my bottom, and I said, I will not let this be who I am for the rest
Yep.
of my life. And I will not let this situation deter me to where I'm supposed to go. So that gave so much fire. That gave so much fire. So I went back and I started researching and researching and researching about becoming captive. Now, I mean, not captive, independent. So I started my name. I started Assured Connection Insurance Group. It was born. And of course, at the same time, I was doing real estate. So real estate fed Assured. And I started with just like a little room that had just one little desk, and I was just so happy. Like, and it started as small as just selling auto because I couldn't get the big name carriers,
Right.
just selling auto insurance, auto insurance. So as I started selling auto insurance, it got a little bigger, it got a little bigger. But let me tell you another story. I said, God, I would love to do some homes, like this is what I could really feed into the business. I know people in the industry and everything else like that.
Yeah.
So I went back, I prayed, I prayed, I prayed. And all of a sudden, literally, I was just kind of just on the internet and a conference had came up. This was I can't even remember the name of this conference. I need to go back at it. But it was a conference that came up and it was close to town. It was in Louisiana. Okay.
Okay.
So it was in Louisiana. Now, mind you, I'm a single mom trying to build a business. My money is very limited. I don't have much to give into this industry or whatnot, but I'm eager. I'm gonna go for it. I'm putting everything into it. Whether they were at the Marriott Hotel, gorgeous hotel. I knew I couldn't afford to stay there.
Yeah, always the big hotels, right? Always the big
Right,
fancy ones. Yeah,
right. So,
absolutely.
yeah, so it was a couple of hotels that was a couple of blocks away.
That's okay. We've
That's
all done it,
where
I think. Yeah, absolutely.
exactly. But this is where breakthrough came from. So I said, okay, I had my nice business outfit on. I had my business cards. I had everything because I was going to network and somebody was going to take my business to the next level. Okay. So I bought the ticket and everything. Now, see, I thought the ticket came with dinner, right? They took us to a nice restaurant. I knew it was nice because I looked around. I said, ooh, they don't have any numbers or something, the menu and everything else. And I was like, whoa. So I said, I hope this is included. However, it wasn't included. Okay. Goodness. So anyway, I'm smiling, my personality, just like when you met me, just gravitate well sitting next to the man who started Naya. And that is the African American Insurance Association, Tillman, Mr. Tillman. I'm not sure if you know him.
Yeah,
And
I know of him. I don't know him, but I
yes,
know of
yes,
him.
he's
Yes.
amazing. He's amazing. And I just told him, I sit down and I talked to him, and I was like, hey, I'm new, I'm learning, I'm trying to get started, blah, 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 that's whatever. He took me under his wing. He was like, hey, let me help you with some people that I know. He called State Auto. State Auto was my very first carrier that I was able to write, but I had to write under him. He got his license in Mississippi. And he was like, whatever I have to do to help you or whatever. He said, grow
Nice.
your book, give yourself about 2 years in reference to it, and then I will sign everything back over to you. And he did just that.
Nice.
He was my blessing. He was my blessing. Because of him, he opened up a door where I could show my numbers to another carrier or another carrier, another carrier, and I was able to grow.
Love it.
So
Love it. And
now
you needed to be at that conference. That was where you needed to be.
needed to be at that conference,
Yep.
but I was not done. He knew because I went to the bathroom because I didn't want them to know I wasn't at the Marriott. So I went to the bathroom because I had my little sneakers and everything. I was prepared to go ahead and walk. I had my heels on. I was like, okay, I think everybody gonna be gone by now, right? They waited for me. Now these are top attorneys. These are top insurance people, like just the top of their field, just networking. They all waited for me, and they was like, "No, we're a group. We come together. We lead together."
I love
And
it.
Tillman was like, you better come tomorrow." He was like, "I want to see you tomorrow." He was like, I want to network with you." He did everything that he promised to do. And so after that, he was like, "It was just your ambition that you came for something.
Yep.
You were gonna leave with something." And he was like, "That's the desire that we want in this field. That's the desire that we want in this industry." So with that, it was able to change me. It was able to change my life. With that door opening, I was able to get more people to write with me. My name was able to brand. I was able to get my name out to the community. With me being a real estate agent, it was a little different for the community.
Yeah. And so how was that though? How did people perceive you as being insurance and real estate? Because a lot of I don't know. I mean, I know that there are some agents out there that do both. And but how does that kind of work for you? Because
So
that
I
just
want to
seems like
say,
they'd be very synergistic, but at the same point, it's also very, very different.
so I like to say real estate and insurance are related.
Okay.
They're not brothers and sisters, they're more like cousins. It's, they're distant cousins, okay?
Yep.
Because I know that, the relationships are sometimes good and some relationships are sometimes bad. But hey, I was blind. So the best thing about it was I didn't know better. So I went into the whole idea of I didn't have this this concept of couldn't do it. I wasn't wise enough to know you wasn't supposed to do it like that. So I just went in and did it. I was like,
I love
because
that.
the only thing that I knew, I needed to take care of my children.
Mm-hmm.
And at all means necessary, I have a son that is dyslexia. So I couldn't go back to work. And going back to work will require more time. And I was able to spend time with him and to help him and to build the income that I couldn't build had I went to go work for someone else. So only thing that I knew was I'm a mother. And whatever it takes as a mother, we're gonna win. Period.
Amen. I love it.
Period. My child needs therapy. My child needs medication. My child needs me to be there. I need to be home at a certain hour. So whatever the noise was, I wasn't hearing. I wasn't
Yep.
hearing. I showed up. I
You got to
showed
be
up.
focused.
I was focused. I was
I love it.
focused. It
I
was
love it.
nothing that you could tell me that wasn't going to do. This is what it is, and this is what we're going to do in this community, you guys.
I
I'm
love it.
walking in here and hey, I'm a real estate agent on Monday. I'm insurance on Tuesday. So whatever you need, I am here. So I went into it blindly. I showed up as me. I came as myself. I came in as I stopped looking at it as I'm selling you something. I started looking at it as you need something and I got it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you come to me, I'm going to be able to help you with something. So I changed the ideas of my real estate agent. So I had to figure out where the problem was. Well, I was a threat. I was a threat. You might take my client. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I had to go ahead and get me some workers. I realized that I was a threat. Okay. But one thing Tillman had told me, so first, Assured Connection, it was just Assured Connection Insurance Group. I didn't put my name on it because I didn't want you to know I was the owner. I didn't want you to know. So Tillman had came down to come visit me one day. So when he came down and he said, Miss Lake, why don't you have your name on your business? He said, that's basically the trend for insurance. This is basically how it's done.
Right. Right.
I said, well,
Right.
I don't want anybody to know who I am. He said, you are the brand.
Mm.
Your clients are going to know you. He said, so if you sell real estate and you sell insurance, brand you. So I stopped looking at branding real estate. I stopped looking at branding insurance and I started branding Ossiea Lake.
Yeah, I
And
love that.
yes.
And you
And
did
when
a
I,
really good job with that. I gotta say,
yes,
I love. Well, I mean, because I'm not on Instagram anymore, but
yes,
my Instagram account got hacked like 2 months ago, and I'm in this test phase of do I really
yes,
need it? But which I haven't quite decided on that yet. But it's very interesting though on Facebook. You really celebrate both sides of your business. You really celebrate your clients and you celebrate your team. You celebrate the journey, and you created such a great brand in that
yes,
of you specifically and that
yes,
joy and that power because you
yes,
really do emanate verbally, intentionally, I'm sure,
yes,
positivity and power and strength. And I love that you're branding you
yes,
in that process.
yes. It's a minute. Because I didn't know who I was in both of it. Because just like you said, like, how do you join the two together? I had to realize they need each other. And once
Mm-hmm.
you realize, so when you're a business owner, you figure out what is the problem. Well, the problem is this. How do I solve it? How do I help the problem? And that's when things flow. And then once it starts to flow, you don't have to ask for business anymore. Business is going to come to you. I stopped
Mm-hmm.
going to the business and I started allowing the business to come to me because I have something you need. I'm here to help. I'm here to show that
Mm-hmm.
you may not have the best client that can go to State Farm or that can go here, but guess what? There's other carriers. So I started doing educational seminars. I started going into because as a realtor, I knew what I didn't know. No one sat down and talked to me. So
Right.
as agents come in, and what I do is if they have a new agent come in, when your new agent training, hey, let's take them to lunch. Let's talk to them. I'm the first person you get exposed to. So now I build a relationship with this person. And
Mm.
so it's so from the other agents, we sit down, we have lunch, and we don't talk about business. what's going on with your girlfriend? What's going on with you, fella? You see what I mean?
Yep.
People are people at the end of the day. People want to be, they want to relate. They want to talk. They want to feel like, if I have a relationship with you, how's the
And they
kid?
want to be heard and they want to be seen. And I think
Exactly.
sometimes if we only talk business or if we only, do the status quo, right,
Yeah.
then we're not really seeing people and we're
We're
not
not.
seeing what are their struggles and what are their joys and what have they done to get here. And by doing what you're doing, talking to them about their personal assets and insurance or helping them with the home, whatever it is, you haven't seen their journey to get there,
You have it.
and the
Mhm.
joy that they're going to have by being able to achieve that.
Right. One thing I've learned, my grandfather always told me, he said, when you're in the room, I don't care how many people are in the room, you have something in common with everybody.
Mm,
And
I
I
like
said,
that.
wow. He said, your job is to figure out what you have in common with them. And that changes the whole mood. So sometimes when I'm in rooms that's bigger than me, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not this person. I'm not this person, but who am I? And in most cases, when I relate to women, I'm a woman. I'm a mother.
Right.
When I'm relating to a business partner, I own a business. When I'm relating to just being human, I hurt too. I have
Hmm.
feelings, I have emotions too. And so when
Yeah.
when you're speaking with men, guess what? We forget that men have feelings too.
Well,
We
and they
have
don't talk
all
about it
this
as
stuff.
much
Yeah,
necessarily, but they're always open for, not always. I mean,
right.
everybody's not always open, but people in general are open for growth. They're open for community.
Yes,
They're open for connection. It's just
yes,
sometimes they don't even feel like it's an option for them in that environment. And when they know that they're free to be open in that environment, then we can really make a difference in the
this
people
is
around us.
true. This is
Love it.
so true. This is so true. So my thing is find a connection. Find a connection. Find what works. Sometimes like we were talking a little bit earlier, my problem may be in my business time management. But you may be an
Mm,
expert in time management. You can say, okay, this is how you should do this. This is how I can help you in this or whatever. Figure out where you can help someone. Figure out what you have in common. We all have something in common. So I stopped looking at the industry
right.
and I started looking at the community. So looking at the community, I was able to say, hey, that's a problem, but I can blend this problem. I was able to come to our meeting when we were in Florida and I saw how people just gathered together. Well, in Mississippi, we didn't really do a lot of that. Like that energy is great. And I feel like I'm going to be bringing you to Mississippi. I don't know when.
I love it.
Yeah. I feel like, someone has to start it.
Yeah.
And it has to begin somewhere, before other doors open, before something else happen. Like, so me being able to be in the room to
Yep.
see what you do, to see what all the other ladies in that room do, that inspired me to say, hey, now I can take all this information and I can bring this back home to the professionals already. Now, mind you, on the business sense, I'm building my business model. Okay.
Hmm.
Now I'm solving a problem and I'm able to bring it back to the company because guess who you're going to trust more? You're going to trust
Mm,
me. You see what I mean? So sometimes solving the problem, if we're not doing something, we're not engaged, we're not teaching about business, we're not teaching about this or how you can become better or how I'm not the problem anymore. So I
mm,
see it being the real estate agent is not the problem because I see it can help me fix my problem. So I stopped looking at it like that. I stopped looking at it as how can I be a help to you?
hmm.
And
And
long as I'm
there's that, and that's when that connection comes because you know what they need, what they're looking
yes,
for,
yes,
and you listen,
yes.
actively listen, and then you can actively bring solutions. I
There
love
you
that.
go. Yes. So that changed everything. So when I come on my social media page, I'm coming on as, do you need my help? I'm here to help you today. Do you need this? Do you need that? And I'm able to play the roles back and forth. Now, I hadn't touched everybody I want to touch yet because you're still going to have some that are just going to work. But guess don't
Yeah.
worry about the people that's not going to support you. You worry about the people that are supporting. And then that's going to grow. Because
Mm,
guess what? The word of mouth will travel so much faster. You know what? got in contact with Ossiea. She got that quote back fast. She did this quickly. She's really, really good. A client had a claim. The claim was answered quickly. This. Maybe you should use her. Okay, because I get something to say. I heard about you. I heard about you. I think I'm gonna try you out and see. And it's just basically it's just like a little scared little child that's in the room.
Yep.
Say, come on in, come on in. Sometimes you got to put a little candy out there and put your hand out there, and then they come, and then they come. So it wasn't easy. So in building my business, nothing was easy because guess what? I didn't have access to funds. I had
Right.
bad credit. My husband had left me in shambles. I didn't have a big startup. I didn't have someone supporting me to
Yep.
say this. I had to work real estate. I had to feed into the business because
Yep.
no one sat down and talked to me about money management. No one sat down and they talked to me about this is the way you should do your funding here. When you make a big commission check, this is how you should set this thing to the side. In my community, especially being a double minority, a Black woman, one as a woman, they don't want to tell us anything financially anyway. But
Right.
education, just from my grandparents and my mom was not there. Just home ownership, period, just wasn't there. So now everything that I do is a passion because I want to see people learn something better. I want to help you get a home, but I also want to know, do you have a lot? I'm so surprised people are buying homes, but they don't have car insurance.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
so it's like, so they don't even know they don't even have a representative in reference to go to because you don't even have car insurance. Well, it's either in somebody else's name or, I don't, you need to have car insurance. Now we can sit down for other conversations. What does your life insurance look like? What is going to happen if you die and you're a single mom like me? Who's going to take
Yep.
care of your family? That's an opportunity, you know? So I took what I knew I didn't know,
Mm.
and change that I wanted to see, and it elevated my business in ways I can't even explain. It's a blessing.
I love it. I love it. I love how you've used your history and your life
Yeah,
and your passion
yeah,
to be able to fuel taking care of other people, because
other
that is
people.
what I think so much of insurance is risk
Yes,
management. How are we going to take care of each other? How are we going to take care of you? How are we going to take care of,
uh,
making sure that you're safe if
yeah,
something does happen?
yeah.
I know I read an article years ago that people have a personal tragedy every 18 months. And it
Mhm.
could be that your car breaks down. It could be that we, have a financial situation. It might be a personal situation. It doesn't have to be huge, right? Like,
Yeah,
but we have something that we go, oh,
yeah.
and it just drains us about
It
every 18
does.
months. And statistically, how much of that at some point is going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
Occasionally you're going to run into those really, really big things, whether or
Right.
not it's something of, we have a spouse that passes away unexpectedly, or we have a house issue, right? I mean, like an insurance claim or a
Mhm.
vehicle issue or, whatever it might be. It's
Yeah.
awesome that as insurance agents, we get the opportunity to be there for our clients. And I love the fact that you
True.
brought in that personal
Yes.
passion to expand even beyond insurance, like
Hmm.
you said, into helping people to be safer overall, not just in insurance,
Yes.
but with personal security as being a woman in the insurance space, but then also just being a person who
Yes.
reaches out and connects with people to be able to do that. And I think that for me is
That's
like, I hate to put the purest element of insurance because that
right.
to me is so awesome.
When you look at it like this, because everybody's like, how do you do both? How do you like one,
Mm,
it's got great time management. You have got to, in order to be successful in two different fields, you have to have a good time management.
time
Everything
management.
has to be plugged
So
in.
how did you learn time management? Like how did you figure
I'm
that out?
still
'Cause I think
learning it.
some people just really struggle with that. I struggle with it. And
Mhm.
even when I think I have it figured out, it's still a discipline to stick with it. Even though I can go on my Google Calendar all day long and time block, it doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
But
Right.
you got
Or, when a
you got to
client
look at
calls,
that one. It's
yeah,
so my son with dyslexia has taught me how to look at things two ways. I can look at things black and white, or I can scribble scrabble around because I'm a scribble scrabble. I'm just gonna be everywhere, right? So I stopped looking at it as calendar this or, something else like that or whatever. I stopped looking at things like that and I started looking at it a little differently. Instead of saying I need to be there, I need to set me time.
Mm.
You see what I mean?
So
So
important.
yes. So what I do is I believe in a couple of things because as a human, as a woman, when your cup is not full, you can't pour into other people.
Yep.
So we have got to get to a point that you have some days off. I literally, Sundays are my days. I don't do
Good.
anything. I just relax. I move slow. I may clean up the house or cook or just do family time. But at night, I'm planning my week of what my week should look like or things I would like to do within the week. I may say, okay, Monday will be a little bit of real estate, or after 5 o'clock, I may do real estate and I'm doing insurance all the way up into here. Into here, I got my time blocked together. So now I'm just plugging it in. Now I just have alerts that come up and say, okay, this is what you now. Do I get everything done the way I should? Absolutely not. But you have to have a program, and I
Yeah.
believe you just have to write it down, and do it in a time space where you're not feeling like it's a work.
Yeah. And
Do it
give
in a
yourself
time.
grace in that too.
Yes.
So, if it is something that it's okay for you to kick into the next afternoon or tomorrow or
Yeah.
today, let yourself do it. Don't sit up doing things that you could do tomorrow morning that aren't urgent, because you need to let yourself be done
Yes.
and spend your time with your family and be where
Right.
you need to be with your family. And I think
Right.
that's really important. I think some of
Right.
us just push, push, push so hard
Right.
that we can't
We can't breathe.
feel our life around us in
So
such a positive way.
you need to set some time to feel.
Yeah.
You need feel time. You see what I mean? So if your 8 hour, 10 hour day doesn't have, it was funny. I rented a car not too long ago and I was driving long distance and the car just came up and then popped up and said, I think you need to take a coffee break.
Did it really?
So, because it's like, hey, you've been driving me for a long time. I think you need to take a break. And so the thing about it is, are we planning breaks? Are we planning field time? If you're going and you're going and you're going, guess what? You're going to burn out.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was just, and as it said that, I said, you know what? Let me stop right over here at this gas station. Let me give me some water. Let me stretch a little bit or whatever. And I got back on the road and I feel really good about it, So take you like this 10 to 15 minute break that the state, I didn't understand why they made you do this, but you need to do it as a human. You
Mm-hmm.
need to do it because the burnout is really, really real.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. And sometimes we don't even know when we're burnt out. We just know we're miserable.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't put words to that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We just think, oh no, I gotta push forward, right? I gotta be
Yes.
here, I gotta be focused.
Right.
To recognize and to acknowledge this is sometimes we don't let ourselves do that. But at the same point, when this is miserable, when we're miserable, we have to be able to say, okay, I'm just gonna take a break, right? And it could be leaving on a Tuesday afternoon to go see a movie. Just take 2 hours, go see a movie that you really want to go see, right? Maybe something that your husband, brother, son, cousin, friend doesn't want to go see, right? You want to go see it? I have no problem going to a movie by myself. It's one of my favorite things to do. And my husband has no desire to see certain movies. So I'll be like, see ya, and I don't do it that often, but we need to reward ourselves with times like that.
Yes.
And I don't do it like I do it maybe once a year. I don't do it the way I should.
But
you got to do it. You got to do something, even if it's just getting yourself up and getting away from your desk, going for a walk around your building in the sunshine, the vitamin D.
Right.
If it's just going and getting lunch and not sitting at your desk and eating, little things. It could be going and getting a pedicure. It could go be lots of different things. Shopping. Some people love shopping. I don't. Some people love shopping. I love it when I'm like, when I look great and stuff, but I don't love it when I don't look great and stuff. Then I'm like, this stupid mirror is lying. But you got to do what sets your soul on fire. And we say that a lot on this podcast is find what sets your soul on fire. Maybe it might be crafting. Maybe it might be a night out with a girlfriend, whatever it might be.
So, I think that's very important. So I make sure I schedule those blocks in, and I make sure my mental health is in a good place because I'm still a single mom and that's a lot of work. That's a whole
Mhm.
job within itself. And I'm still dealing with a son that has dyslexia. And now, maybe even some heart issues we're looking at or whatnot.
Mm.
So I have to keep myself mentally in a good place because if I'm not taken care of, then I can't take care of my clients. I can't help
Mhm.
my community. I can't be a real estate agent. I definitely can't be an insurance agent. So you got to make sure that you're good. You're not burnt out. You're not stressed out. And I have to do what's good for me. And so meditating, I meditate. I
Love it.
read different books. I can't read because I'm working all the time. So audiobooks have been very good for me,
Yes, I love
right,
them. I can
right.
do
So
that 10 times more than I can sit down and actually read a book. I just don't have time to sit down and read a book.
right. I just can't pick up a book and just
But
really
I can
read
go
the
through Audible,
right.
like
Right.
I love it. I love it.
So an audiobook or whatnot is really, really good. And just being, time alone is good
Mm.
for me. And I travel a lot and I like to travel by myself. And a lot of people's like, why do you go where you go by yourself? Because here's the thing, when I take a group with me, whether it be friends or the kids or anything, it's no longer a vacation. It's a
Yeah,
list. We got to go here.
true.
We need to do this. We got to go here. I can sit in my hotel room. I can lounge at the beach. I can just think about things that I want to just think about. And I'm literally taking a break and I come back rejuvenated. So that
Mhm.
has been my thing, being by water, and just relaxing by the water, just thinking to myself.
Yeah, I love it. I love
And
it.
it brings so much, so much, even if it's just like a weekend or something. Like we're forever having people are forever calling us, needing something, family needs something. Like you
Constantly.
have really got to put yourself, even if you just book a hotel room that's somewhere close by, you get in a new element.
Yeah,
Get
just
in
a
a new
change of
element.
sewscenery.
Yeah, yeah, get in the hot tub or something. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Make you think you're on the beach. You see what I mean? But you come back and you just feel different. You're going for the experience.
Yes.
You're not going for the vacation. You're going for the experience. And we need to in life experience more than what we're experiencing. Like you can't get anywhere just we're not born to do this all day. You know what I mean?
True.
We're not born to always be a servant. We got to be a servant to ourselves. So
I love
that's
it.
that's my
And I
main.
think that's exactly what people need to be able to hear, what people need to be able
Mhm.
to embrace, and what people need to really see that we can serve. We can serve our
Yes,
community, we can serve our families. We
yes,
also need to serve ourselves and be
yes,
able to have that time through that servant attitude that has to be able to stretch further than just, our local community networking,
yes.
local, maybe not for profit organizations that we love to serve in, which I love doing, but you also
Yeah.
have to come back to center
We have
sometimes
to come
too.
back to self. So self is so important. So, some of my encouraging words is show up as you
Mm,
and take care of you.
I love it.
Yeah. Show up
I'll
as
see
you.
it. If people would really love to have that conversation with you a little bit more, like
Yes.
on a more drawn out level, or
Yes.
talk to you about that, because I
Yes.
know that we have a lot of people who reach out to our guests and who
Yes.
say, maybe they might say thank you for doing that because maybe what you said was something that really spoke to them, right? And
Right.
maybe it's something that for them, they wanted to be able to dig deeper. Like maybe you
Yes.
mentioned something that they want to be able to do. How can they reach out to you so they could go ahead and connect with you?
Yes. Boy, my phone number, definitely. Give me a call, 601-497-5141. Think nothing is, I mean, we're in a social media instant world. I could give you my Facebook, I could give you this, but call me. Let's talk about it. I am the type of person I love conversation. Nothing beats
Yeah.
me looking in your face or me hearing your voice or to see what you got going on because what may be for you may not be for this person right here. I'm available. If we need to do another podcast and we just be in a room full of women and we just talk about what we need, we need a place where a safe place is what I like
Yeah.
to call it. We need
Yeah.
a safe place. But in the business that we're in and we're burnout and the market is changing Economics is changing. We're worried about this. We're worried about that. But guess what? That feeds into your business. If we're not
Hmm.
healthy here, then guess what? If you're going to bed with worries and stress, you're going to wake up with that. And that's not going to be good for work.
True.
So,
True.
so if we need to do another, safe place where we do another little podcast where they're invited, hey, I'm here. I
I
am
love
here
it.
all the way. So,
I
yes,
love it. You are amazing. And I love
you
seeing the
are
things that you're
too.
doing. I love seeing your energy online. And I cannot wait to hug your neck in like what,
Yes,
2 months, I think, month and
yes,
a half, 2 months. Yeah.
yes.
It'll be awesome.
Well,
It'll be
look,
awesome.
yeah.
We're going to be
So
in
I'm
Innovation the beginning of October. There is
okay.
a women's event that's going to be there if you're an agency owner and going to the Innovation Conference. I think tickets might be sold out, but you can look me up if you want to be able to go. I can maybe see if we can do about getting extra tickets or something. But I'm really, really excited about that. I cannot wait
Yes,
to see
I
you
cannot
because
wait to
I'm
see you,
ready.
girl. I know, I know. Look, we need that. We
Yeah,
need that. We need that. So,
we do.
yes, if anyone needs me, just give me a call. My number is 601-497-5141. You can just give me a call. I'm here for the support. I'm
I
here
love
for the
it.
support all the
Ossiea,
way.
you've been wonderful.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
thank you, thank you for taking your time to be able to talk to us today.
Okay.
Everybody, this has been another amazing episode of the Power Women in Insurance podcast. We do release a new amazing episode every single Wednesday. So check us out. Go to Apple iTunes, go to Google Podcasts, go to Spotify, wherever you stream your favorite podcast. We are on YouTube as well. So check that out. You can actually see this interview actually personally. So that's a lot of fun too. But you can see my new braces I just got like a couple weeks ago. They're kind of like, why in the world is this woman in braces at this point in her life? But hey, we're self-loving right now. So, but join us, talk to us. We love your feedback. Find us on Facebook at Power Women in Insurance, and we would love to connect with you. Everybody, have a really great week.